Thanks, Mr. Ross. We appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight to our orientation meeting. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect. Thank you. Because now my screen is full, so I can't see you. We do want to be cognizant of everyone's time. I understand that there's an awards an awards presentation tonight as well, starting at 7:15. So we're going to go through our presentation and make sure that we dismiss you at 7:15 if you are attending that presentation, but we will stick around for questions and answers. If you could hold your question until the end, that would be great. And we'll show you how to go ahead and ask the questions by raising your hand in the Zoom meeting. So to get started, we're going to show a short video that our digital video production class put together on the exciting parts of being a freshman at William Tennent.
Hey guys.
Welcome to William Tennent. There's a lot to look forward to here at Tennent. Come on in. Freshmen can look forward to a lot of school events. We have so many fun ones, and they're all really exciting, and everybody gets really hyped up, and it's going to be a lot of fun for you to witness them firsthand. Football games are really fun, and we have so many events that you can get involved in, coming together with all the middle schools so that you can meet new friends. My advice is that it is a big school and it does look scary, but don't worry about it because in no time you'll know exactly where everything is and you won't need anybody to tell you anything. High school isn't as scary as you think, and everyone's helpful and will support you.
Do all your work. Don't get behind.
Definitely get involved in everything that you can. Stay off your phone in class because, even though it's really tempting to go on it, it's gonna make you get really behind.
To not be lazy because this is more serious than middle school.
My advice for the incoming freshmen is definitely to get involved with everything you possibly can. We have a lot of really cool opportunities for everyone here at Tennent, whether it be like sports or academic stuff or like clubs, and definitely to take all the opportunities you can to try to get into things and do all your work in your classes.
My favorite event is probably Black and White Night because the whole school comes together and there's so many events that are for everyone.
Black and White Night.
Black and White Night. It's so fun. Get involved in everything. There's something for everyone.
Powder puff.
Powder puff.
Powder puff.
Powder puff. Powder puff. Powder puff. It's so much fun. It's a new experience, it's new people, it's a new surrounding, and it's a lot better than being in one school with 3 grades for 3 years. All the freedom that we have, I go to the breakout areas all the time to like cool off and do my work, and the freedom's really nice.
My favorite part of going to Tennent was definitely a combination of getting to mix with all of the people from the other middle school and getting to meet people and make new friends and like get new opportunities, and definitely my teachers because they're great and awesome.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. And again, I know people have been entering the meeting as we were playing the video. I do want to stress that we will be sharing this entire presentation after we record it tonight. So you'll be able to go back. So if you missed any part of the early part of the meeting, it will all be out there on the website, and we will also share it out with you so that you have access to it. So welcome to high school class of 2025 and parents. These truly will be the best years of your life. And as a parent and an educator for over 30 years, I just have some words of advice as we get started, as I welcome you to William Tennent. First and foremost, take a deep breath. Start that right now tonight, but continue taking lots of deep breaths. High school can be stressful. It's a lot different than middle school, but we just need to breathe and know that we'll get through it together. Buckle up. It might be a bumpy ride. There may be days that seem a little rougher than others, but we're going to be in this together and we'll all get through it okay. We need to make sure that we communicate, which we're going to talk about more tonight, about who to communicate with and the best ways to communicate. But that's really, really important. Not only you parents communicating with the school staff, but your children learning to communicate with school staff, and especially keeping those lines of communication open between the students and the parents. And finally, sorry about that, that went too fast. Take lots of opportunity to celebrate and smile. These years are going to go by really fast. Make sure that you find the fun and find lots of reasons to celebrate throughout the 4 years. Here are some of the things you have to look forward to. Here at William Tennent, we offer amazing courses that are going to prepare your students for college and career, whatever path they choose. We offer unique learning opportunities and especially supportive and engaging professional staff who are here to help every step of the way. So in this first part of the presentation, I just want to introduce you to some of the people who are going to be here to help you. First and foremost, your school counselors. And here at the high school, we divide our school counselors by alphabet. So your students will have the same student counselor all 4 years. Mrs. Michelle Weiss has the beginning part of the alphabet, A through C, Mr. Gilroy, D through H, Ms. Booterball, I through MC, Ms. Cudgis, ME through R, Dr. Babbins, S through Z. And then Mr. Tomlinson handles our specialized placement class students, special program students, including the gifted, the CISCA, ESL, and the Centennial Virtual Learning Academy. This link will take you to our website with all the guidance information. There's a lot of really important information on our website, so make sure you visit it often. We also have a really strong administrative team. I'm Kathy Warziniak, and I'm realizing now I think I forgot to introduce myself. I am the house principal for the 9th grade house, and my secretary is Miss Diane Mueller. She's also our person who handles attendance, so any attendance issues will come through our house in the 9th grade house. In the 10th grade house, we were really excited to welcome Mr. Ryan Osnick, who joined us in April, and his secretary is Miss Lisa Dupree. In the 11th grade house, we welcomed Mr. Joe Caracappa in January, and his secretary is Miss Joanne Mancini. And in the 12th grade house, Mr. Ryan Mulford is busy getting ready for graduation, and Miss Mindy Golden is his secretary. Of course, our principal, who is with us tonight and hopefully will chime in here and help me out a little bit, is Dr. Julie Henrick. Julie, you want to say hi?
Good evening, parents, students, guardians. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Congratulations on the award ceremony tonight and the moving up ceremonies on Thursday. We're excited to have you join us.
And you know what? Mr. Caracappa is also here tonight, correct?
He is.
Hi, Ms. Brziniak, how are you? Congratulations to all of our eighth graders. It's wonderful to see you here tonight. Best of luck.
Thanks for joining us. And Dr. Henrich's secretary is Miss Terry Knappenberger. These people and all of the house offices and in our main office are here to help you. So even though you're a ninth grader, you're going to be a ninth grader next year, that doesn't mean that only the ninth grade house is the place to get help. You can get help from any of these wonderful people. In our athletics office, we have Mr. John Creighton and Miss Cindy Bradney. And we'll have more information about athletics later in the presentation, and also make sure that you have the information for the athletics website, which will have lots of important information for the students who are playing sports. So the next part of the presentation, we just want to briefly talk about the block schedule. Our traditional block schedule is an alternating block. We have black days and white days. Each day there are 4 90-minute blocks, and this is what the schedule looks like. So you'll see we have a period 1 and a period 2. Then period 3 is when we have our lunches. We have 3 lunches: A lunch, B lunch, and C lunch. The kids call them first lunch, second lunch, and third lunch. First lunch, after second period, students go directly to the cafeteria. After lunch, they go to their period 3 class and are in their period 3 class for 90 minutes. If our students get B lunch or lunch 2, they will go to period 3 first, have class for 45 minutes, take a break for lunch, return to class, and then finish the class in the 45 minutes. And then lunch 3 has class for 90 minutes right after period 2, and then has lunch after the class, and then goes to period 4. As you can see, each of the periods is 90 minutes, except for period 1, where we allow 5 extra minutes for BWTV. I wanted to take a couple screenshots of what your schedule is going to look like, because when you look in Skyward, it can be a little daunting. So when the schedules go live later this summer, when you log in, you're going to see a screen that looks like this. And what you'll see is you have 2 period 1s, 2 period 2s, 2 period 3, 2 period 4, and then lunch periods indicating what lunch you eat down at the bottom. When you look at it this way, it's a little bit confusing because the white and black days are kind of scrambled up if you look down at that third column from the end. If you click on the blue link that says days, it will clean the schedule up for you and put your black days together and your white days together. So parents and students, when you get into Skyward, I highly recommend, when you're looking at this screen, viewing your schedule by term, if you sort it by days, it is much easier to look at and will tell you what your alternating days are. Another view you can use to look at your schedule is the schedule by period. And this gives you more of the block look with each period white on top, black on the bottom for each day. So these are all the same schedules, just different ways to look at it. And then many of the students use the app, which is very handy because in the app, when you look at your schedule, you do it by date and it will only give you what classes you have on that particular day. This is a great way for students when, especially after a long weekend, to figure out whether it's a black day or a white day. If they open the app, it tells them right at the top what the day is, and only those 4 classes are listed. So these are all just different ways to look at the schedule in Skyward. Moving into high school is a lot different than middle school, especially because now your classes go towards earning credits towards graduation. So we're learning and we want to make sure that we're working and achieving our potential in these classes. Parents, I'm going to warn you, the classes are going to be more challenging, and your students who maybe have earned all perfect scores all the way through school might see some lower grades once in a while, and that's okay because it's part of the learning process. We need to work on teaching them to be independent learners and helping them be as successful as possible. And one of the things that we see with freshmen especially is that not all freshmen really understand how to do homework or how to set up a schedule that allows for studying and homework. So these keys are just a couple of brief ideas that maybe you can start thinking about earlier in the summer, and we'll have another meeting later as school gets started, where we'll talk about with the kids again as we get closer to school. But stuff to think about as you're, planning for the school year next year is make sure that the kids have an established workspace for homework. With our virtual learning this year, we discovered a lot of kids thought that, laying on their bed was a good place to access their classwork. We encouraged them to set up a space that was specific for learning so that their brain starts associating that place with work and with, understanding and analyzing. So if you can look around and help your student establish a place where they're going to do their homework, a place that's comfortable, but not too comfortable, because of course we don't want them napping during homework time, but also getting that workspace organized so that they have the supplies that they need, so that it's quiet. They have access to a electrical outlet so they can charge their Chromebook, things like that. Also, it'd be really good this summer to start teaching the students about ways to organize using an agenda book or a to-do list. A lot of the kids relied on just the Canvas calendar this year, and that doesn't work for everyone. Myself, I need lists, I need Post-it notes, I need to write things down with my hand in order to remember it. So this is a good time to start talking to the kids about ways that work for them as far as organizing and helping them to learn to use a calendar or an agenda book or a to-do list. Because when they're balancing 8 classes, and even though it's only 4 each day, it can get overwhelming. It's also really important that we all appreciate the importance of brain breaks in our classes. Our teachers give brain breaks during that 90-minute break, during that 90-minute period. But it's also important that the kids learn to take brain breaks when they're studying. The kids in some classes may have, a few hours of homework a night. It's not conducive to learning to spend those hours all at once. They need to take some time and make sure that they're giving themselves a break, but that it's a controlled break. Most important is setting up a routine. And these are conversations that you can start having now. When does your student do homework? When's it going to be most effective for them? Is it as soon as they come home after school before they do anything else? Is it after they've taken a break? Is it, after dinner? Where are they going to do it? And try to keep that as routine as possible. So again, they're associating that time and that place with learning. It's also really important for the kids to start making a list of the contact people that they need to save them in their email, or to have a cheat sheet on their Google Docs that has the phone number and email for their guidance counselor, for their teachers, for the athletic director or their coaches, so that they get used to communicating themselves and they're able to advocate for themselves with that contact information. And then finally, in the Chromebooks, it's a good idea for them to create bookmarks so that all their tabs can be accessed quickly, and that the usernames and passwords for most of their things at school will be saved. But the more they organize their tabs in their Google accounts, the easier their year is going to be. So that's some things that they can start thinking about right now. We're talking about, communication and knowing what's going on. It's really important for everyone, parents and students alike, to watch for e-alerts. At the high school, we are very discriminate in what we send in an e-alert, and we try to limit our e-alerts so that you're not inundated with them. But it is really important that when the e-alert comes out, that you take a look at it, and especially that you click on the links, because the links usually have the detailed information in the documents. The students will also get Canvas notifications. We send the Canvas notifications out. The teachers send Canvas notifications out. Sports and club leaders will send out Canvas notifications. And if you wish to, you can be paired with your student's account, so you'll also get copies of those notifications. Skyward is what you want to look at for grades and attendance. You also will get your family access to Skyward, and you can choose settings in there where you can get different updates, but you can also just, be able to access it and check it for grades so that you can have those conversations with the kids. I'm not saying that every high school student doesn't always tell their parents the whole story, but maybe in my 30+ year career, I've come across one or two that maybe told parents everything was okay, but Skyward told a different story. So trust but verify. So make sure you have that access for Skyward. When schedules come out later in August, you're going to go and fill out all of the beginning of the year paperwork. And in that paper, when you do that, that will give you the access to Skyward. If you have any problems with that, please reach out to our technology team to get help. Canvas is the learning management system. That's more for the students. That's where the classwork happens. That's where teachers post their lesson plans. And there are some assignments that get posted and submitted through Canvas. And obviously during this time of virtual learning, Canvas was used a lot. But Canvas is more for the day-to-day, what's going on in the class. Skyward is where the actual grades are. Both of these really important tools are located on the school and district websites, so you can get links to them there. And our Office of Learning and Innovation did a really great job over the past few years making video tutorials for students and parents on how to, get the most out of both of these systems. So I really encourage you to take some time to check that out. Attendance, as I mentioned, comes out of the 9th grade house. And this is nothing different than what you have in the junior high, because our policies are all based on what's allowed by law. So there is a 10-day max of any kind of absence in Pennsylvania. Beyond the 10 days, all students are required to have a doctor's note. On your absence notes, before you need the doctor's notes, the notes should be sent in within 3 days. And the most efficient way to do that is to email wtattendance@centennial.org. If you're planning a family vacation, those requests need to come in at least 2 weeks in advance. Families are limited to only 5 days of vacation time. And it is important that you fill out that paperwork accurately and on time in order for us to process it. As far as discipline policies, I don't want to get into a lot of that right now because that's just a small part of what high school is. But I will tell you that in the high school, we really work on restorative practices. To discipline means to teach, and that's what it's all about. We expect students to make mistakes, especially freshmen. It's a huge transition to move from the junior high into the high school. There is a lot of growth and development that's happening, not only physically, but mentally and emotionally and socially. And kids are going to stumble and they're going to make mistakes. And we expect that. And what we want from them is to learn from the mistake and to make right whatever the wrong is, and then to move on past that. So our entire team is very committed to these restorative practices. We don't expect kids to be perfect, but we do expect them to, acknowledge when they've made a mistake, learn from it, and then do what they need to do to make things right afterwards. Couple of really important upcoming events. The first day of fall sports is Monday, August 16th. As I promised, Mr. Creighton will have the website updated with all the information. We'll have stuff up on the electronic sign up front, but it's important that you get your physicals before that. Football usually starts just before that, so please make sure that you're making your appointments for your physical. And if you need a physical form, it can be accessed on our website. And then, of course, the first day of school, which is earlier this year than it has been in the past, is Thursday, August 26th. So I know I covered a lot of information and I did it kind of quickly because I wanted to make sure that we got you guys out of here in time for your awards ceremony. But if you don't remember anything else, please remember that through these next 4 years, to take lots of deep breaths, to buckle up and enjoy the ride, to communicate early and often, and to find lots of reasons to celebrate and smile. At this time, Dr. Henrik and Mr. Caracappa, did you want to add anything? Did I miss
just, I think that the points that you made, Mrs. Wozniak, are really valid. High school is a time to learn and try and make mistakes and do better. Communicating with your administrator, your counselor, your teachers is really important, and Skyward and Canvas will give you most of the information that you need in addition to our website. I would like for us to be able to take questions, but before that, I just want to do a time check. It's about 5 minutes to 7. So in 10 minutes, I will stop us so that those of you who are getting off to go to the award ceremony can do that. And as we said, this is being recorded and we will share it out. So you'll be able to come back and hear the answers to any questions you may have missed. But we are happy to take questions. And I believe you do so by hitting the little raise hand button at the bottom of your screen.
So at this time, I'm going to stop sharing the presentation so I can actually see any raised hands. But when we share this out, you will be able to click on the link for my email. My extension is 12004. The guidance counselor's information, contact information will be here as well. And again, I can't stress enough to keep an eye on the webpage and e-alerts for all other information. So I'm going to stop sharing now. And if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand and we will be happy to answer them.
I'm sorry, one more thing that I wanted to add. Mrs. Wozniak mentioned that when schedules go live, you'll log into Skyward. You'll fill out all of the required paperwork for the beginning of the year, and then you'll be able to access your schedule. You will know about that prior to schedules going live. They usually go live in the middle of August. We also have 3 days in August where students and their parents or guardians, if they like, can come and do tours at the high school. Those will be on our calendar. I believe they're in the 3rd week of August. And we will send more information as we get closer along with the Google Docs so that we can manage how many students sign up for each event. We want to try to wait until schedules come out live, because if you're coming to the high school, unfortunately, our students this year didn't get to come and tour as prior classes have. But if you're coming to the high school in the summer, it's best if you have your schedule, because then your tour guide can show you where your first period classes are, show you where the lockers are, show you where the lunchroom is, and you can kind of walk your schedule if you like while you're there. So I hope that is helpful.
Thank you. I forgot. I had a note to mention the tours and I forgot to mention it. And I know that you all worked with your guidance counselors at the middle school and had meetings with our guidance counselors and Mr. Caracappa and Dr. Henrik about course selection. So schedules shouldn't be a surprise when they come out. They're the courses that you were recommended for. And then electives are kind of filled in based on availability and what you put down. So it was, I hope you put down good alternates, because freshmen don't always get their first choices, but we do our very best.
Mr. Ross, do we have any questions? Am I telling parents and guardians how to do it correctly?
Yes, all attendees should be able to raise their hand. Not seeing any hands raised now.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
Oh, looks
Looks like we have somebody.
we do. Ms. Vasquez?
Yes.
Yes.
For the verification, that can be done online, right? Do we have to go into the school for that, or is there paperwork that'll be sent out?
It is electronic paperwork that will be done through your Skyward account. Correct. You do not have to come in. There's no pen and paper. It'll all be done online.
And then kind of on another topic, is the plan to be like full regular school by August?
Oh, you're asking me a question that requires a crystal ball. It is certainly the hope
Okay.
that schools will be returning right now.
Mhm.
If the numbers are in September or in August, what they are now, I would imagine absolutely. There will be a small number of families, I imagine, who are not able to send their students back because of immune compromised issues or family situations, those students will be offered a completely virtual option that is not what we do now.
Mm-hmm.
As the plan stands now, and with the disclaimer that things change when the numbers change, but as the hope is that all students who want to, and based on the survey information we got, more than 95% of families are planning to send their students back to William Tennent High School full time, that all of those students would return 5 days in person, and that we would not have students participating in our classes virtually, if at all possible.
Okay, that's good.
That's what we want. That's what I
Yes.
hope. And I know this is recorded, so I want to say one more time, that's our plan, but
Right,
sometimes things change. So that's our hope.
absolutely. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Are there any other questions?
That was a good one.
That was a great question. Well, we'll stick around. Dr. Enick, did you want to add something?
I was just going to say that when we send out this, this presentation, it has our contact information on it. So by all means, I will say when we did this presentation with students back in January, they had lots more questions. So maybe they already told their parents and guardians everything they needed to know, or maybe they're just so over 2020, 21 COVID that they're not ready to look forward yet, which I understand, and you'll feel differently in August. But we're available by email as well if you have questions that you need answered, and we're happy to answer any questions you have after the presentation as well. Does Isabella have a question? Zolniak? I don't want to say it incorrectly. Please pronounce your
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yes, hi. Nice to meet you guys.
Thank you.
My question is kind of going back to the virtual learning. So I'm not sure if that's even early to ask you that question. Will the students will be required to be vaccinated, or how do you go about that?
I don't make that decision at the building level. I can tell you that there has not been discussion at this point about requiring children.
Yeah, I thought so. That's probably too early.
Yep. I also don't expect, to be frank, I don't expect that would be a district decision. I expect that kind of direction would come from the Department of Health or the Department of Education, but I don't believe that that's a requirement that's being discussed right now. Again, I can't predict the future. I just haven't heard anything about that at this point.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Another good question.
Yes.
Mr. Asmus? Igor?
Go ahead, sir.
Sorry, I was on mute.
Oh,
Thank you guys. Awesome presentation. Have a quick question on how would I go about registering for like sport activities, and where would I do that?
So if you go onto the William Tennent website, there is a tab called, I believe it's called athletics, but Mrs. Wozniak or Mr. Caracappa will look at it right now. That will have announcements all summer about when practices are, when camps are, when activities are. It'll also have a link to the PIAA physical form. That is the most important piece of getting ready for sports. You must have a physical by a medical professional that is completed on the PIAA form before students can try out for any sports at the high school, whether it's, okay, here we go. See athletics?
Right.
She's showing you that the different sports are updated here on the website. And there will also be, if you follow William Tennent Athletics on Twitter or Facebook, social media, there are always things sent out as well there. But this is where most of the information is contained for each sport, and it'll be updated all summer. Also, Mr. Creighton, who is our athletic director, he will have a lot of information as well, that you can reach out to him directly and he can put you in touch with coaches or trainers that are involved with particular sports. Is it a fall sport that you're thinking about?
Yes, yes. We were trying to see how we can get our son on the swimming team.
Okay, so swimming's not actually fall. The
Mhm.
swimming coach is named Mrs. Riley. So her,
Riley, okay.
yes, and if you go on to swimming, her contact information should be there. She loves having students. It is a winter sport into the spring. Each day, if we go back to the William Tennent webpage, we have BWTV, which is our daily announcements. When there are tryouts or activities or clubs that are looking for people to sign up, it's posted on our daily announcements as well as on BWTV. And not only do students hear those every day, but there is a daily announcements tab on our webpage that you can actually sign up, I believe, through Skyward to get that sent to you each day. And that's where those announcements would be made as well.
Got it. Got it. Very helpful.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you can email me too if you forget.
Will do. Will do. Thank
Good.
you.
All right, so for those of you who need to do the senior awards, please feel free to jump off. If anyone else has a question, we're happy to take it, but we will keep the video going until we leave so that those of you who have left will be able to catch up.
And again, please don't hesitate to email any of us on the list, and any of us will be happy to answer any questions you have or find the right person who can answer it for you.
All right, well, this group gets the award for quietest group of audience members we have ever had. We get it, but so we will allow you all to return to the busy and important work of celebrating your 8th graders. We are excited for them. In very few days, they'll be called 9th graders, and we're even more excited for that. Please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions or you think about anything. And unlike the kids, we go to school all summer. So if you need us, you know where to find us. Have a great night and enjoy the activities of the final days of 8th grade.
And congratulations again.
Congratulations.